The real reason why your resume gets zero callbacks, and hint, it's not your experience. If you're a mid-career professional with 10, 15, or even 25 years of experience and you've applied to job after job and you're not hearing anything back, it's not because you're unqualified. It's because your resume isn't showing the right things in the right way for the senior level roles that you're aiming for. My promise is in this video, I will show you the real reason why your resume gets zero callbacks, and I'll also show you the 3 steps to fix it so that recruiters will actually respond. I'm Danielle Bradley. I'm a career coach, and I've helped hundreds of mid-career professionals get hired for their best role yet in this market. Most resumes fail for 3 reasons. Number 1 is they have no keyword alignment. There's actually no match between most resumes and the type of role that you're applying for. And if you don't know anything about the ATS, here's a little bit of what that can look like. It's the applicant tracking systems that companies are using nowadays. When you apply to a role online, most large companies are going to be using a system that is going to score your resume for the keywords and keyword phrases that are most important for the role that you're applying for. But what usually happens is that the ATS cannot even match your resume to the role, which means you don't get any callbacks. You get eliminated instantly. The second thing is that most resumes feature duties instead of results. If your resume reads like a job description and it's full of bullets that simply describe the tasks that you've performed, it's really not positioning you to land interviews and offers. This is what that looks like. A resume that reads like a job description really doesn't position you for the high level, high paying roles that you want and deserve for your years of experience. Number 3 is that resumes often have a weak opening summary, which also does not generate callbacks because there's no clear value proposition and there's no professional branding. So they're not really understanding what you are an expert in. As a result, you blend in with every other candidate. One of my clients, Ron, was a former recruiter, and before we started working together, he was job searching on his own for an entire year. Yes, even though he had that expertise as a recruiter, his job search was not working in this market. And we started working together. We revamped his resume, among other things, and he was able to land an attractive position in 90 days. Here's an example of a resume that is not going to attract callbacks. There's no opening summary. There's an objective, which is actually quite old school. That's what we used to put at the top of our resume, but that's really not effective nowadays. There's vague bullets versus no tangible results in this example. It's also not keyword optimized, and there's just too much information in here that is not relevant for the type of role that this person was looking for. So number 1, there needs to be a keyword match between your resume and the role that you're applying for. So here's an example of a top tier of a resume with some highlighted keywords. But before I get into this, I definitely am not a proponent of someone trying to beat the ATS and trying to stuff their resume with keywords or even have AI rewrite their resume so it's full of keywords. We need to be careful with that, and you'll understand why in the next little bit. But we do need to make sure that we have the basics covered. If we don't have the keywords that are important and relevant for the type of role that you're going for, you're just not going to be able to get interviews. It's become extremely important. So here's an example of a resume where we have inserted some of the keywords and keyword phrases that represent the top sought after skills and results that companies are looking for the type of role that this client was trying to get. And this example actually is from a client who had applied to roles and gotten rejected with his old resume. And once we upgraded his resume with all the right elements, including the keywords, he'd applied to the same job several months later that he had gotten rejected. It was still open, and he was able to land an interview with a new resume. This makes a huge difference. Number two is we want to rewrite the summary of the resume in a way that's going to be more compelling. So here's a before and after example of a client. In the before, you can see that it's very summarized and it highlights the 25 years of experience, which may or may not work to the person's advantage in this case. Sometimes that can invite age discrimination potentially. In the after example, you can see that we have a really good feel for what this person is an expert at, right? We know that this is a project delivery leader with a proven track record of leading large scale initiatives. And we go into more details without writing a 10-line paragraph. We go into more details of the expertise. This really draws attention at the start of your resume. Number three is you want to turn duties into results. This is a big resume blind spot that I see. Even people that have measurable elements in their resume really tend to struggle with having the best possible results that are relevant for the role they're going for in their resume. And this is a crucial aspect of getting callbacks, getting interviews, and it also helps you perform in your interviews. So here's an example of a before and after bullet where in the before, we're not really getting a feel exactly for what was done. And I'm going to show you more examples here so you can really understand the point. But in the before, it's more vague. In the after, it's extremely valuable because we start with the generated 10 million in gross revenue. And then we talk about how it was done. It's very punchy. It's a 2-line bullet. And when recruiters and hiring officials are scanning your resume, which they do, they spend 6 minutes to scan a resume initially. We want to make sure that there's a wow factor that they can easily absorb what you were able to deliver in terms of value. Here's the next example. The before is very vague. Led the development and delivery of construction management projects, ensuring alignment with corporate strategic objectives. We have no idea what the outcome was in this case. Whereas in the after, we're very clear. Cut management time and cost by 20% through a new procurement strategy. So not only do we know what was actually achieved in terms of a result, but we're also speaking to how it was done. This makes this bullet appear very valuable. It helps to position you for the types of results that you deliver. So now let me walk you through 2 side-by-side examples of a before and after resume that made a huge difference for our client. So on the left, we have the before. On the right, we have the after. Now I've modified the resume slightly to remove identifiers, change the name to protect our client's privacy. But on the left, you can see that visually it is appealing. There's some interest. However, this style of a resume does not work very well with applicant tracking systems. And so we want to have a resume that has a simple format. But what I really want to draw your attention to is making sure that the bullets that you have in your resume really spell out the value and the results that you deliver. In the before, this is what makes the huge difference. You can see under the sales and marketing director, we have, for example, plan, create, execute all sales and marketing campaigns. So we're talking about tasks. This reads a lot like a job description. It reads like bullets that we would find in those job descriptions. And when you look on the right, especially in the highlight section, you can see we have very punchy outcomes. Drove plus 729% growth with financing chains in less than 4 years. Now, as a hiring official, when I'm reading this, when this is in line with the type of position that I'm trying to fill, this makes me want to interview that person. It makes me want to meet them because it's very punchy. It's directly related to what I'm looking for. And I'm very clear when I read that, when I scan it, that this person not only has delivered amazing results, but they also care about the results, which is a whole other thing altogether. So I hope this example helps to really illustrate a before and after of a resume that is going to get callbacks. Number 4 is we want to have an ATS friendly layout. We want to make sure that our resume is designed to flow through applicant tracking systems very easily. And what works nowadays is a very simple format, a simple layout that doesn't have any images, any tables, and nothing that is going to stop it from flowing through and parsing through those ATS systems. This is the type of resume that recruiters also prefer because it makes it easy for them to scan and for them to understand the person's career progression. So the hard truth is that even the best resume is just one piece of a successful mid-career job search. You can take what I've shown you today, apply it, and start seeing better results this week for sure. You've got this. I'd like to invite you to book a free mid-career job search strategy session with me. We will review your resume together. We'll map out the LinkedIn, networking, and interview strategies that you need to get hired for the senior level roles and compensation that you've earned. There's a link below for you to book that call.